On this episode, we're going to talk about Jalen Hurts' new contract and discuss whether we think he's overpaid, and also, is Justin Herbert better than Lamar Jackson? All that and a little bit more on this episode of the Jenks and Hammer podcast.
Welcome to the Jenks and the Hammer podcast, bringing you the latest NFL news and insights from the perspectives of two die-hard fans. Join your hosts, Grayson Jenkins and John Hammerly, as they dive deep into the world of football, along with a special focus on the New Orleans Saints and the Green Bay Packers. So sit back, relax, and get ready for some football talk with Jenks and the Hammer.
Hey, here we go!
What's up, guys? Welcome back to another episode of the Jenks and the Hammer podcast. And we are officially 1 week away from the NFL draft. Pumped, ready to go.
Let's go.
We're getting ready. We want you guys to listen and get ready with us. So we got a good episode for you guys today because we haven't talked in a while. So we got all the NFL news that's been happening recently. And then a little preview of the next couple episodes that are going to be coming up. Monday morning, we're going to be filming Sunday night. Monday morning, we're going to have the rest of our position rankings, including quarterback, safety, and offensive line for you guys. And then Thursday morning, we are going to give you guys the Jenks and the Hammer 1.0 mock draft, so you guys have it for draft day. And, yeah, let's get right into it.
All right, getting right into it, guys. We got a bunch of NFL news. It's been a solid week. I think last Friday, we released an episode. So it's been a while. We're sorry about that. Our schedules just haven't been working out, but we're jumping right into it with a bunch of NFL news. So the first big news piece from the week, it wasn't anything major, but it was kind of just something that was speculated at over this offseason that was put to rest. Tua, in a press conference yesterday, finally said that he had actually considered retirement, and he's decided he's going to play this upcoming season and going to continue his career. The big deal with that was, he had those couple of scary head injuries throughout the year. He froze completely on the field, like fingers kind of messed up. I think that was against Cincinnati. Just a lot of stuff that happened to him over the season. There was a lot of talk that the concussions caused him to play poorly too versus the Packers, I believe. And so, there was just a lot of speculation around him. John, you have any comments?
I bet this is what, I know he suffered a lot of injuries, but this is what an NFL player is going to go through every offseason, kind of thinking how many more years am I going to be at this? The risk reward, it's going to, you got to factor in your health, right? It's important. So yeah,
and
I don't blame him.
And I think it's like kind of a random thing for specifically like this position, like quarterbacks. You don't usually see like concussion talks being like considered, and usually like if it's like a mobile quarterback, something like that, there's like leg injuries, stuff like that with RG3.
Hey,
but
the last big name QB that retired early was Andrew Luck.
Right? Yeah, Andrew Luck, and was that concussions or was that just kind of? I think he
just banged up.
Yeah, he was just going through a bunch of different injuries.
Yeah, he's had everything.
Yeah, and then RG3 before that, but that was kind of that mobile quarterback sort of thing. So I'm glad for Tua. I'm glad he's able to stay healthy. His doctors told him that CTE shouldn't be a problem for him because he's not hitting his head constantly. He's just been kind of unlucky. He's also been learning to fall this offseason, which is something that's interesting. He's been learning, I think it was like martial arts, something like that, to learn how to fall, which is
just be more of an athlete and don't fall completely on your head.
Athletic. That's all you got to do to.
But that's smart. And you know what? The new rules and the helmets they're making, it's only going to help them, right? Because the whole goal is to protect the QB. The rules are just made to help protect them. So it's only going to get better. So
Yeah, and I think
it's good that he's still going to be playing because,
I
think he's going to be, he's a good player. And, you want to see his career,
grow to what it should be. Yeah. So, and a big thing in the NFL right now is the concussion talk. Like they're even considering like an actual designed helmet purely for quarterbacks to prevent concussions. So we'll see how it all goes. We'll move on from this topic. Our next topic is Anthony Richardson visiting the Ravens. So the Ravens recently got OBJ. We talked about it in our last episode, which you can watch on our channel. Anthony Richardson's like a perfect replacement for Lamar Jackson scheme wise. He's able to run. The whole thing with him though is he's just not the best passer. Like he's not polished there yet. So if Harbaugh can get him in there, and if he doesn't feel like paying Lamar Jackson what he wants to be given. I think that's something that's truly going to be looked at for the Ravens, especially if they can get multiple draft picks for Lamar. You're getting multiple draft capital plus possibly a top 5 pick where you could get Anthony Richardson, something like that. And that's a lot of value for a team.
Yeah, it's interesting just because it's like, hey, one of those teams that are thinking about, trading for Lamar Jackson are the Colts, who are
Yeah.
sitting at number 4 right now. So let's say that trade goes through. Anthony Richardson is the perfect replacement for Lamar Jackson, But, it's tough. I think Ravens are just, checking, everything out. But, I think Lamar Jackson's going to be back with the Ravens. Just with,
Yeah.
the Odell move, it just,
It makes it seem like it's more likely,
Yeah.
100%. And here's the whole thing is they've recently just offered him $200 million guaranteed in a recent contract offer. But I think that's been on the market for a couple of days now, and there's no news on acceptances or anything like that. So
no.
the Lamar talk is going to continue probably past draft night. So keep your eyes out for that. We'll have the news first for you guys. So
Yeah.
just keep an ear out.
Another draft visit that actually happened today was Will Levis with the Patriots, which is pretty interesting. Today is the last day. We're filming this on Thursday. Today is the last day, a week from the draft. Today's the last day that you can have players for like a top 30 visit, right, to come in. And the Patriots make a last-minute meeting with the Will Levis, which is pretty interesting. Because we feel like, Will Levis is that,
He's going to fall.
He's the top 4 QB in this draft, right? That's kind of what he is, top 5.
Hooker. It depends on what you're like.
And everyone thinks, I think the early projections, earlier this offseason was, top 10 pick. Well, I don't think that's going to happen anymore. So if he slides to 14, where New England's picking, they can make that reality. So be interesting.
Yeah, and I'm interested to see because there was talk about Mac Jones being dealt. What's his name? Who's their second quarterback now? I'm blanking on his name. But they're thinking about trading Mac, replacing him with their other quarterback.
Zappy.
Yeah, Bailey Zappi. Yeah. So there's been that whole discussion. Bill Belichick's kind of, he doesn't really, you don't know what he's into right now. He likes the typical quarterback. So this is kind of a little bit of an out there pick for them. Will Levis isn't exactly the standard in the pocket.
Just his kind of build is not really
quarterback.
What the Patriots really go for, and that's not really their type of QB. I think New England drafts a QB. I don't think it's going to be in the first round. I don't think it's one of these guys. I could see like 3rd, 4th round, late. Like we said, guys like, Bennett, Stetson Bennett, guys like Clayton Tune. I don't know, just make more sense to me,
Yeah, a later round pick where it's kind of,
I don't know. Not that they're going to be franchise guys like Will Levis could be, but I think this year for New England, you don't know really where you're at. You're going to be in a tough division with the Bills, Dolphins, and now Aaron coming to the Jets. Why take a chance at 14 on a guy that you're a little iffy about, like every team is with Will Levis? Like, just play the year out with Zappy or Mac Jones. You're probably going to get another top 15 pick, top 10 pick, because you're not going to be that good. And, next year's QB class is going to be really good. So,
yeah, and I think that like a guy like Stetson Bennett even has I could see him having the same percent chance of success as Will Levis getting thrown into the NFL. Like Stetson Bennett was a winner in college, just what he did. That's typically what Bill Belichick looks for in a quarterback. And
system QB.
Yeah.
And Bennett's more NFL ready.
Yeah,
just
he
more
has
football experience, and he doesn't try to play hero ball. You know what I mean?
And the only question with him is his the personality concerns. He had a few DUIs or something like that recently, and that's really his concern right now. So Bill Belichick, I think he'll pick a guy like Stetson Bennett versus Will Levis.
Yeah, coach him up. But
and then right now we have a few trades that have happened over this last week. The first would be Allen Robinson to the Steelers. Steelers traded him for a 7th round pick as well. They're receiving a 7th round pick back from the Rams, and the Rams have also agreed to pay most of his contract. The Steelers are only going to have to pay the $5 million remaining. So all around, this is kind of a steal for the Steelers. I don't it's really not much value that they're giving up. But the thing is, Allen Robinson last year kind of underperform. I don't even say kind of. He did underperform. He wasn't really targeted that much. It's kind of a low key year for him for what he's used to. So I'm interested to see if he bounces back with the guy with Pickens still on that team, Deontay Johnson still on that team. So there's other weapons there with Pickett. So
Yeah, I mean, it was just an interesting pickup, right? It was really just out of nowhere. I mean, this Steelers team, it's not like they're like a player or two away from a Super Bowl or, whatever. And it's just like, really, it shocked me. It's just a random pickup. You would think maybe Allen Robinson, unlike, maybe going to the Chiefs or I don't know, the Bills, but I know those two teams are still looking into DeAndre Hopkins, but just a random pickup. Wasn't a big need for the Steelers. Like you said, they got Deontay Johnson. They got George Pickens. So, yeah, I mean, I have a Steelers fan as a friend, and he's pumped up about it, but he's not going to do too
it
much
just
for them.
seems, yeah, it just seems like
You
kind of
know,
like a move that it's an average move. Like it's an average trade. It's nothing that's going to break the league. So
no,
for other teams, don't worry about it. But it's a
doesn't
good,
does
solid move.
doesn't
Solid
change
move.
their position in their division. Still think they're going to end up being third,
Yeah,
fourth, and just be honest.
yeah, for sure. I think like they could make the seventh seed. I don't see it happening. I don't likely see it happening, but they had that opportunity last year and they kind of blew it. So with Kenny Pickett in his second year, who knows?
Yeah, he's going to
He could flip
improve,
this,
but
flip the page next year, and he could be great. But I just don't see them being anything ridiculous with this move. The next move was possibly Trey Lance being dealt. There's speculation that Trey Lance, he's might be getting calls for him from other teams. I don't know what teams they were. I think a few teams could be looking for a young quarterback like that. But the thing with Trey Lance is his health, as well as he's not really the most proven. When he has played, he hasn't done anything ridiculous, I'd say. But I think it's kind of like teams want a guy that has that NFL experience, which he does have. He
a
has a
little
few
bit.
years under his belt. Yeah, it's not anything. It's not a lot, but he has a few years, a few seasons under his belt where he's been able to learn under Jimmy G, and had weapons to talk to him. He's been able to communicate, practice with these weapons, these players that are stars in the league. So a team could be looking for a guy like this. So we'll see.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, when you look at Trey Lance, there's a lot of unknown, but at the same time, he was drafted number 3 overall. Niners
Mm-hmm.
made all these moves to go up and get him. I mean, the talent's there. He's got a high ceiling. And the 3 teams that I saw, I mean, Houston Texans, Tennessee Titans, and the Minnesota Vikings. I saw something saying the Vikings were kind of talking about Trey Lance during the combine, maybe making a move for him. We know that they've kind of been trying to get rid of Cousins for a while now.
Yeah.
I think Minnesota is just I think Minnesota's going to get like a young QB this offseason. And whether that's through the draft, I don't know, maybe they get Hendon Hooker in the second round, maybe in
Which
the
would be a
first
great
round.
fit.
Who knows?
Great fit.
Um, maybe they make this trade for Trey Lance. That's the spot. Tennessee Titans is a spot too. I mean, Ryan Tannehill, he's
The
the same
Titans
thing.
need a new quarterback.
He's the
They
same
need
thing.
they need a new one
He's
to
the same
switch
thing
up that
like
team.
Cousins. I mean, Cousins is better than Tannehill, but it's just like, what are you doing with him? You know what I mean? He's
Yeah,
just
he's
there.
not bettering your team. He's not going to lift that team to a playoff spot. Ryan Tannehill,
Yeah.
his job is to hand it off to Derrick Henry. That's it.
So Tennessee's definitely a spot looking for a young, franchise QB. Plus, the new general manager of the Tennessee Titans was with the 49ers last year. So, last couple of years. So he's had, he definitely was in that discussion, gave his input to go select Trey Lance. And then, of course, the Houston Texans with their head coach, D'Amico Ryans, who was, the Niners defensive coach and definitely had some say about, drafting Trey Lance years ago as part of that staff. And that's a realistic spot for him. And I say that because of that and because it sounds like Houston might not be taking a QB at 2. And we'll get into that in the next one. But, if they don't take a QB, they have 2 picks in the top 15, right? They have 2 and they have 12. So it's like, I mean, with that defensive coach too, picture this. I'm just going to play this idea. Go trade a second or third for Trey Lance. Go get a
that's what I was
young
about to say, the
franchise
third.
QB. And then listen to this. Go take Will Anderson at number 2. And then if
And
he
a
falls,
weapon.
if he falls to you, if he falls to you, or maybe he falls a little and you trade up, go get Jalen Carter. That defensive line for
That-
Yeah.
I don't know if that could
For
happen though. I
Ryans,
don't know if he's
why
falling
not?
there. I don't know.
Imagine
They'd
that.
have to give up too much, I think.
He goes from,
okay. I could
he goes from that 49ers defensive line with Bosa, with all those freaks,
yeah. I mean
monsters against these two young guys. That'd be
it would for
unbelievable.
sure set up Houston
And he
for
gets Trey
a good
Lance,
amount of years.
the QB that he liked in San Fran.
Yeah. I definitely I mean it's
Talk
a
about
possibility.
giving your first year head coach like everything he needs. Like
I could see for sure Will Anderson. I 100% agree there. Like Will Anderson to the Houston Texans makes a lot of sense. I think 15. I don't know if the thing there is that trade
15?
up or 14. What is it?
12.
12.
But that's what I'm
So
saying though. If Jalen Carter falls out of the top 10, which
yeah, he could
definitely
possibly
could.
fall there.
He definitely could. And he's there at 12. If you're Houston, how do you not take him?
I think they'll take him 100% if he's there, but I don't see him trading up. I think another thing, if he doesn't fall at top 10, they could take a weapon for Trey Lance like a guy like JSN.
Yeah.
Great fit.
He's going to the Packers now. No, but yeah, definitely.
But not if he's at 12.
Definitely, though. No. But get a weapon, or honestly, I think go get a tackle.
Yeah.
Right?
One of those tech for your new quarterback.
Top tackles. Yeah. Exactly. But I mean, Houston's in a good spot. It's going to be interesting. I wouldn't be surprised if a trade happened draft. I don't know. I don't know how much of it is real. And I mean, I know Niners
could
are
be
like
smokescreen.
fielding like calls. I know, but it is interesting. It's cool to think about. Like imagine that your first year head coach. Like that's pretty awesome. You get these two studs on the defensive line,
changing the franchise right
there.
You
get Trey Lance.
That's what you're doing.
That would be awesome. So,
and I mean, like you said, it would be just like to trade for Trey Lance. I don't see it being more than a third.
No.
And you think about that compared to these quarterbacks that these teams are taking, like a third rounder for a guy that has NFL experience versus a guy like, I mean, they have CJ Stroud there, but if they don't want CJ Stroud, then you're looking at Anthony Richardson or Zach Levis.
Will Levis,
yeah.
But yeah, and those two players are so
they're not anything that's proven. I don't think they're worth
it. Not NFL ready. And yes,
Yeah.
there's a high ceiling, especially on Richardson.
Yeah.
But there's also a really, really low floor, right?
Yeah, he could be a complete bust. So there's a lot to think about for the Texans. D'Amico Ryans has a lot of work for him, and he could change his franchise this offseason. So
absolutely. But yeah, that would be an awesome thing to see play out. You know, that would be awesome. I was gonna say something else. Yeah, and then the 49ers side too. It's like, all right, I mean, you know, the Trey Lance project didn't work out. You made that big move. But you know what? You found Brock Purdy, who's your guy. You believe in him. He took you where not a lot of people thought he was going to take you to the championship game. Couldn't get it done because of injury, but won a playoff game before that. You believe in him. You get a guy like Sam Darnold. Sam Darnold can step in for
those few games that he's missing.
4 or 5 games with that offense and that scheme and play just fine. All right, he can. And then when Purdy comes back, it's Purdy time. But makes sense.
Yeah, and then the next guy that we have on the move is Robbie Anderson to the Dolphins. This is just another
Chosen Anderson.
Oh yeah, Chosen Anderson. Change his name.
Badass.
I don't even know what that.
Badass.
It's not badass. It's
Hawk.
A weird name.
It's like Hawk from Cobra Kai for all those Cobra Kai fans out there.
He wishes he was Hawk.
Robbie Anderson. He's low key got the hair like it, like the spikes.
He could. I mean, I don't know.
But Chosen Anderson to the Dolphins. I know there's a speedy receiver for
sure.
Tua, who's not going to retire now and play with Tyreek, Waddle, and Chosen.
And McDaniel, he loves his weapons. You know, like that's what he wants in an offense. He likes throwing the ball, and a guy like him can open up the defense a little bit more. And it's just one other defender that they have to take off of Tyreek Hill, off of Jalen Waddle. So, you know, it's a huge move. I mean, it's not a huge move, but it's definitely a small move that could make a big impact for the team.
Yep.
And then a little bit of draft news. Bryce Young canceled.
One more move.
Which move?
One of the best safeties in the league, Budda Baker.
Oh, Budda Baker,
might be on the move.
Asking for trade.
He wants a trade from Arizona, which every player probably does because dumpster fire over there.
Yeah, they're burning right now.
Yeah, Budda Baker, though, the heart and soul of the team. I mean, you know, just who wants to be there, right? Hopkins is leaving. Murray's going to be on the move in a year or two.
You just lost Watt. Like, you lost your leader on defense.
Yeah, but Buda Baker, that would be an awesome pickup for anyone. The thing about him though is he wants a big contract. That's part of the reason why he wants to leave. Is they won't pay him. He totally deserves it though. I love his playing style. He's
Yeah,
downhill, smashing people. Love it. So he could be on the move because he wants that big contract. His caliber and his height. I mean his age and everything. You would think first round pick. But now I'm hearing like second, third round pick, probably like a third round
yeah,
pick because he wants that big contract,
yeah. I think it would for sure be like second or third, like you said, with that big contract. Like a team, especially for a safety, I don't think a team wants to give up a first rounder.
Buda
Especially if
Baker's
they have to
good.
pay him. He is good for sure, but I mean,
He's good.
first round pick good plus the salary. I don't think
Well,
so.
no. I
So
think the salary turns it down. I think he would be a first though.
yeah. No,
Say,
I think he's
say
definitely
this is like year
without the
two, year
salary. Sure.
three, and he's still on the rookie deal. I think he can go for a
Yeah,
first, like a late first, absolutely. But he'll go for a second or third because he wants the big deal.
yeah, and I think a team could even push. They could do like a third this year, like a second next year. They could find a way to make it so it doesn't even really impact this year's draft, whatever team trades for him. So because I think the Arizona Cardinals are going to take whatever they can find, like the best option they can find. If that's the
Yeah, they're
best bet out
rebuilding.
there,
They want the picks. Yeah.
yeah, they'll just take what they can get at this point. So next thing we got draft news. We got Bryce Young canceling his remaining draft visits. So he visited with the Panthers, Texans, and Raiders, and this is the guy that we think 100% the first overall pick talent. It's his size that's kind of hindering his ability or his stock, but this guy is almost a lock for the Panthers, is what we're hearing right now. And as a Saints fan, I don't really love that. I kind of wish it was CJ Stroud because I think CJ Stroud has a little bit of a lower ceiling than Bryce Young. But if Bryce Young can stay healthy, no, if Bryce Young can stay healthy, he can be great. But
Yeah.
that's his whole key is his health.
So if you go back and watch episode 3, we ranked all the QBs, and for
Big
me,
debate.
I like both of them. I like CJ Stroud better. Like I feel like he's more NFL ready.
Yeah,
just
year
as a,
one.
just as a passer, and yeah, the size, of course, and just yeah, I think he's just more NFL ready. And a couple weeks ago, it sounded like CJ Stroud was going to be number one, and that kind of
And then there
flipped
was flip flop.
to Bryce Young like as a lock now. And it sounds like CJ Stroud might fall now because now Houston's not in the market for a QB. It sounds like so. Bryce Young, yeah, seems like a lock to the Carolina Panthers.
Yeah, I mean, if Houston doesn't want CJ Stroud, I mean, should take Will Anderson at 2, but they could also trade for more picks for
Team's
that number
probably
2
gonna trade
spot.
up.
I don't. Yeah, a team could say, "Hey, well, let's trade up for CJ Stroud." I mean, I don't think they'll trade away the number 2. I don't like. I think there's too much value there in Will Anderson or CJ Stroud or something like that. But
It depends.
it's something they could do. Yeah.
Yeah, but it depends where. Yeah, it depends.
It depends. I mean, where the team's trading for, like
what
the
if
pick they would get in
yeah.
return.
Like, what if they're just trading down one pick? Like, I don't know, one pick or 2 picks. I don't know.
Yeah, and they're getting a few more picks in return for sure. I think they could do that, but I mean, I just don't think they'd trade out of the top 10. I don't think that would be smart because there's too many prospects there. So
yeah, it's gonna be interesting to see how the draft process plays out for CJ Stroud.
for sure. All right, our next segment's going to be talking about Jalen Hurts' new contract. He's now the highest paid player in the NFL yearly. He's making $51 million a year. That's insane. His total contract is 5 years, $255 million with just under $180 million guaranteed. For this guy who's just been in the league for 3 years now, this is nuts. Like Lamar Jackson didn't get a deal this big. Josh Allen, Patrick Mahomes, none of them got a deal this big right out of year 3. Neither did Joe Burrow, and Joe Burrow's done more. So I mean, I think this is an insane deal, and I think it's overpaid. So we're going to jump right into what our rankings are for best quarterbacks and what we think they should be paid above Jalen Hurts.
Yeah, we're going to be talking about like our top 5 most like valuable QBs and who should kind of get paid the most.
Who we think should be paid more, yeah.
Yeah.
All right, so at number 1, I got the obvious answer. Everyone knows who it's going to be, Patrick Mahomes. This guy's the best quarterback in the league, hands down. And in a few years, if he keeps playing like he is, he could be determined the GOAT that early into his career. Because this guy has 2 MVPs. He has 192 passing touchdowns his first 5 seasons as a starter. In comparison, Tom Brady had 123, who's a widely considered the GOAT right now. So 70 more like touchdowns as a starter in for his first 5 seasons, that's ridiculous. And here's Patrick Mahomes' contract in comparison to Jalen Hurts. This guy's on a 10-year, $450 million deal with only 140 million guaranteed and 45 mil per year. So this guy's getting $6 million less every year, and he's won 2 MVPs, multiple rings,
2 Super Bowls.
Yeah, and he has a lot better stats than Jalen Hurts. So I think that's crazy.
Yeah, I have no comment here. Yeah, Mahomes #1.
Yeah, I think it's unanimous.
When he's done, he'll be the greatest of all time.
Yeah, I think we've seen
Simple.
enough at this point. Like, if he's able to stay healthy, the only thing that could possibly prevent it is injury or
He stays healthy and plays
a random
another
drop
10
off.
years. Yeah, it's gonna be crazy.
Yeah, and then at number 2, I got this guy's a great winner. You saw it in college, you saw it at LSU. Now he's on a different Tigers uniform. Joe Burrow of the Bengals. This guy, he's going to battle with Mahomes and Allen for the AFC or championship every single year. This guy had 9,000 yards and 69 passing touchdowns in the last 2 seasons. So he was he got hurt his first year, so I'm not really going to count that. Like, I'm not going to count that against him. He was hurt. He's still on a rookie contract, so this guy doesn't even have his deal done. So keep that in mind when he's getting his contract over the next year, maybe the next year after that. But
he's waiting. He's waiting for Lamar Jackson to get done and Herbert to get done, and then he's gonna go.
I think right now it's kind of a waiting game. For these quarterbacks, they're going to get their money. They're waiting for teams to kind of fall in and give them this money so that they can ask for even more from their teams. So I'm interested to see what he gets. I think he should he's going to at least get $43 million per year, possibly 45 mil.
Nah, 43. He's going to get 50 plus.
The only reason I can see him not is because Patrick Mahomes is making 50 mil or 45, and this guy's 10 times better.
But Mahomes' deal happened like 2 years ago, dude.
Here's the thing:
Jalen Hurts just got paid, and you've done way more than him. He's going to be being paid, and plus on that Bengals team right now, I know they got to pay some guys in the future, but
yeah, that's
what
I'm about to say.
But right now, they're not paying anyone, and honestly,
Jamar Chase is still on his rookie deal too.
Yeah, but you pay Burrow what he wants ahead of Jamar Chase.
I agree.
You know what I mean? But he'll get paid 50 plus.
But here's the thing: you think Joe Burrow? I could see Joe Burrow being one of those guys that's like he'll take still a high amount of money, but he might take a little bit less so that their team can pay more. I think he's got that sort of winner mentality in him. He wants to build a better team.
Maybe he'll take a little less, but the guaranteed money is gonna be crazy.
Yeah,
a little less per year, but the guaranteed money is gonna be crazy.
Yeah, especially with, Deshaun Watson kind of blew up the guaranteed market, and that's why Lamar is kind of.
Thanks a lot, Cleveland.
Yeah, Cleveland, you messed everything up. So I think the owners are kind of boycotting because
wait until Jordan Love's got to get paid. It's gonna be crazy.
Oh yeah, when he gets his. I'm not even going into that with you. I can't do it.
Why?
All right, because he's not getting.
All right, he's not. Number 2, Burrow. Same over here. It's a lock. Second best quarterback in the league, in my opinion.
Yeah, and then number 3, again, we're keeping it in the AFC. I think everyone would keep it in the AFC so far. We got Josh Allen on the Bills. This guy, you see him every regular season. He goes off. I think his only problem right now is the playoffs. You see him get into the playoffs. He still does super well. Like you saw him last year versus the Chiefs, or 2 years ago. Guy,
not this past year at home.
Yeah, 2 seasons ago. Yeah, and he lost at home this season. But 2 seasons ago, he played the Chiefs. They probably should have been in the Super Bowl 2 seasons ago, but they kind of choked with 13 seconds left. So Josh Allen played his heart out. Defense kind of let him down there. But this past season at home, the Bengals went to their house and shut him up. So Joe Burrow, props to you. You're at number 2 for that reason. Josh Allen, he had greater than 4,000 passing yards and 35 touchdowns in the last 3 seasons. That's insane for a quarterback that's consistently playing in the division with like the Patriots, who have a good defense every year. Like he's playing them 2 times a year. So
you're going against Belichick twice a year. It's tough.
Yeah,
so it's gonna be tough. It's gonna get tougher as the years go on. I got Allen as. So my 3 and my 4 are kind of flip flop. I got Allen and Hurts. And I say this just because I don't know. I feel like Allen had really high expectations headed into this year. I don't know. I feel like he kind of
No,
crap. I felt like he kind of crapped the bed. I think Allen. I like Allen a lot. I like his build. I like his playing style. He has too many turnovers for me. Like just being honest, he's got too many
yeah,
turnovers.
and that's the one thing that I said was
And you
holding him back a little bit.
and
Those
again,
dumb plays.
it's just the playoffs too,
Hmm.
right? I mean, he doesn't win in the playoffs really.
Yeah, so I think he needs to turn it around. I think he's gonna have to have that flip, that switch flip in him. That hey,
So
turn it around.
so for 3 and 4 and 3 and 4, I gotta have Allen Hurts flip flop. I like Hurts a lot. How can you not like him? You saw what he did this year. He doesn't really turn the ball over as much as Allen. He can run better than Allen. I those two are kind of interchangeable at 3 and 4 to me. Those are my guys, but I mean you can go either way.
Yeah, I think so. Here's where the debate's gonna come up. At number four, for my number four, I'm gonna keep it in AFC one more time. And I'm gonna take Justin Herbert at number four.
Hell no.
He's 100% number
No,
four, and
he's not.
here's why. Here's
No,
why.
he's
Here's why.
not. No, he's not.
He's got all the talent in the world. This guy has terrible coaching and inconsistent weapons. His best weapon is maybe Mike Williams, and Keenan Allen's always hurt. Always hurt. Austin Eckler as well, but he's a running back. He's not going to give you insane yards. So like he's not like a deep threat. He's not a possession receiver. He's a great receiving running back, but he might be gone after this year. So this team isn't really prepping him for the best seasons yet. Here's his numbers. 14,000 yards over the last 3 years, as well as 94 touchdowns and only 35 picks. He's doing all this under a rookie contract, and he's had 5,000 yards 2 years ago, which has been done, I think, less than 20 times in the NFL. So this guy, he's got all the talent. I think he's better than number 5. You have Jalen Hurts at 4. I have Jalen Hurts at 5, and here's why. Because Jalen Hurts is still young.
Hold on, can I talk about Herbert?
Yeah. What do you guys say about Herbert?
I like Herbert. I like his QB style. Like I like Herbert's QB style better than Lamar Jackson. Like I like his. I like the mobile, but not too mobile. You know what I mean? Athletic.
Yeah, he can move out of the pocket and make throws on the run.
Play extender. QB. I like him, and I get it. He has a lot of weapons, but at the same time, they're always injured. The coach is crap. Coach stinks, right? You're playing in a tough division, but I mean, you just these past couple of years, you come in with high expectations every year for the Chargers, and they just let you down, like they do, right?
Yeah, but I don't know if you can blame Herbert for that.
I know because you got the coaching and the injuries.
Yeah.
But hold on, but I honestly though, if you want to be higher on this list though, you got to overcome those things, and you just got to be when you're the QB, and I know I'm not even going to compare Rodgers and Herbert, but and you could say Breeze too. These QBs at these level, you can have a crappy coach with crappy play calls. You can have a shitty defense, injuries here and there, but if you're that guy, it just doesn't matter. To me,
I
you
agree,
could just overcome that.
But
I know it sounds crazy, but you can. And the big thing I'll point out too about Justin Herbert, it's just his playoff game, right, against the Jags. That is unacceptable.
Yeah.
His
what's their coach? The coach is Stanley, right? Whatever his name is.
Yeah.
That guy should have been gone after that game.
But
He coached him not to. He coached him not to win. He wasn't calling plays where Herbert was playing his normal style.
The bottom line is Herbert. I mean, you were up 28-0 and you blew the game.
Yeah, I 100% agree, but I think
I know he's the coach, but you're the leader.
To a point.
Nah,
I don't.
you're the leader. You're the best player on the field.
Here's another reason. This guy's done it for 3 straight years. He's had 3 straight years of ridiculous play. Jalen Hurts has had 1 year of ridiculous play.
Yeah, and he won. He didn't win the whole thing, but he won.
Yeah,
more.
but he also is playing a lot worse NFC, and that's all. I feel like that also needs to be taken into account. This guy Justin Herbert is playing the AFC, where he has to play Patrick Mahomes twice a year, I mean, the rest of his division wasn't great this year, but then you also have to play Joe Burrow, possibly Josh Allen. There's a lot of good teams in the AFC that are a lot better than the NFC. So I think he's got on a lot tougher schedule than Jalen Hurts. But I mean, Jalen Hurts this past year.
Jalen Hurts, I know, but Jalen Hurts. I mean, I know they played the Cowboys. I mean, they played the Giants in the second round, blew by them. They played San Fran. San Fran's a good team. Like,
but they didn't have a quarterback. But they didn't have a quarterback.
But hold on, Jalen Hurts isn't going against the quarterback. He's going against that defense.
Their defense is. Yeah, but
what they do that 49er defense.
Yeah, but
they put up
they were
points
on the field. They were on the field the whole game.
Don't matter.
The Eagles' defense was turn the ball over.
Man up! It's championship football. Let's go.
Yeah, they did. They did for most of the game.
And
defense was on the field the whole game.
And what Herbert did, he lost to the Jaguars. Are the Jaguars that good? No,
they came back last year. I'm not gonna hold Justin Herbert for one game. I'm sorry, I'm not.
I am
because he's had 3.
I am because it was the biggest game of his career. So I am.
Yeah, but I'm not holding it past him because his coach should have been fired right after it. And I think the Chargers organization is a dumpster fire for holding him.
So here's why Herbert is like not on my top 5 list because all these other guys.
He's not in your top 5. He's not in your top 5.
No. Because
who's over him?
So 3, 4, I got Jalen Hurts, and 5, I got Lamar Jackson.
Yeah, no, Lamar Jackson should not be in the top 5.
You say this, but can I talk? Can I talk though? You say this, but it's like all these guys on this list have a playoff win, have a Super Bowl, have one of these: a Super Bowl, a playoff win, or an MVP.
Yeah,
or we're like close to an MVP, right? Herbert has none of that.
But it's because his team isn't the best around him. Lamar Jackson has the MVP, and what has he done since?
Herbert won Rookie of the Year because that draft class for QBs was with Jordan Love, Tua, who else? And Hurts, who didn't even play. There was no it wasn't real competition.
Then you think about it, though. Lamar Jackson hasn't done anything since his MVP. I think if we were taking this, we were doing the rankings 3 years ago. Yeah, but Lamar's top 5.
Count this year out though, because he was banged up.
The year before,
but he's won a playoff game. He's got an MVP.
2 years ago,
he still has
Lamar Jackson had 16 touchdowns, 13 picks.
When this year?
2 years ago.
He's got an MVP though.
Yeah, but it's too long ago. I'm sorry. He has to switch it up.
It's not too long ago.
He's not healthy either. He's not going to be healthy for a team. I don't think Lamar's top 5, and I think
so.
He's a rushing threat.
He's not
and here's the thing.
He's not my QB style. I'm not the biggest fan of Lamar Jackson. But talent-wise and who deserves more money and who's more valuable, that's Lamar Jackson because he has playoff wins and he has an MVP.
And what's Lamar's playing style? Running and throwing?
Running.
He had 2 rushing touchdowns 2 years ago and 3 this year.
So
nothing.
Figure out how to use him better.
I don't think that's no. I think the Ravens have been no. Yeah. If his playing style is rushing and he can't run the ball for touchdowns like Jalen Hurts can, I don't know. Jalen Hurts had double digits the last 2 years rushing touchdowns. That's why he's at 5. Justin Herbert is at 4 because he's passing the ball a crap ton better than Lamar Jackson. So I don't know. And Lamar's trying to get more than $200 million guaranteed. He doesn't deserve that. And we didn't even get into Justin Herbert's contract. I think he deserves at least 43 mil.
Yeah, but for you to say Justin Herbert deserves more than Lamar Jackson is crazy.
He does. He's going to be around longer. Lamar's not going to be able to play his play style for more than 3 or 4 more years.
Yeah, but you're looking into the future. I'm saying right now, he just deserves more. He's done more.
Yeah, but that's the whole contract. That's why they're not giving him the guaranteed because he's not going to be healthy. That's the only reason why. I mean, if this guy was a healthy guy for 4 straight years, sure. Lamar hasn't been healthy for the last 2-3 years. So I don't know. I think Lamar's great. No hate on Lamar, but he's not consistent enough. Ever since his MVP year, he's had a significant drop off at that, and I think it should be looked at. So
yeah, we get banged up a little. He'll come back. Not too worried about it.
Yeah, I mean,
Aaron Rodgers was banged up in 2017, 2018. Came back and won 2 MVPs.
Yeah, I mean, he could turn around, and he has OBJ now, but right now, I don't think he's a top 5 quarterback.
Tom Brady's been banged up before, tore ACLs. I don't know. I don't think it'd be that big of a deal.
But has Lamar won anything?
Plus an MVP. But plus,
But he hasn't
Lamar,
done anything.
but plus, he's done way more than Herbert.
Yeah, but Herbert's only been around for 3 years.
How long has
He's had
Lamar
one
been
shot.
playing? Lamar's been playing
A
what?
couple more years.
4 or 5
And
more?
What has he done?
4 or 5?
Lamar hasn't done much more. He had the one MVP and he hasn't done much since. That's all I'm saying.
Yeah.
He literally
MVP
sat out of a playoff
win.
game last year. He sat out of a playoff
MVP in a
game.
playoff win.
He sat out of the playoff game. That's all I care about. It's a garbage teammate.
Yeah.
You're gonna sit out of a playoff game for your team.
Yeah. Okay, I get that.
No, I don't know.
And,
I just
and
don't.
Herbert blew a 28-point lead.
That's not his fault. I'm not blaming it on him.
Yeah,
I agree. He should have scored.
He only
He
just
should have scored.
He
but
only
I'm not
just
blaming him.
controls the offense and the clock. But yeah,
Yeah, but they weren't calling good plays. Like it's not. I don't know. And
So
at some
what?
point, you got to
be
realize
a
it's
man
only
and
one
call
game.
your own plays like Aaron Rodgers
Okay,
did with
and
Mike
Lamar
McCarthy.
Jackson has played numerous more, and he hasn't done anything. He hasn't made it to the Super Bowl.
Okay.
He hasn't beat Patrick Mahomes, Joe Burrow, Josh Allen.
He was
He's
Herbert. Herbert's
In the
done none of this.
I got to look at these stats for regular season versus them, but Lamar Jackson hasn't done anything. I'm sorry, he hasn't.
Yeah, and
and now that
Herbert-
the Bengals are good. No, Lamar Jackson was good when the Bengals sucked. The Steelers sucked. He was good when all their teams in the division
No,
sucked.
Steelers didn't suck back then.
They were
Steelers are
good.
always good.
What, like 5 years ago?
They have a winning season every year.
They have a winning season, but they're still not an insane team for this guy to play against. They're not. Justin Herbert has to play the Chiefs twice a year,
Chiefs.
and he's
who
put up a
else?
fight every single
And
game.
who else? The Raiders.
Who are the Ravens playing? Now they're playing the Bengals, and they're not able to beat them. So
It's the same. I
don't
mean, now that I think
don't know.
of it, I mean,
It's-
Herbert's division isn't that much tougher. I mean, the Raiders and the Broncos. I mean,
I think this year they're going to be both better than. I mean, the Steelers could be good this year. That's what we said. I mean, they
agreed,
got
but
decent
but I-
weapons, but
I also think, but we all know Cincinnati's a Super Bowl contender, like the Chiefs.
yeah,
Steelers are going to be better with the second-year QB, and they always, Tomlin just
With
has
the
those guys
Browns,
always
yeah.
ready to play. But what about the Browns? I think the Browns are going to be good too.
They
They have
could
a
be-
running attack, and you can have Deshaun Watson for
yeah.
a
I'm
full
interested
season.
to see if Deshaun
And
Watson's
he's
able to
gonna get
bounce
back-
back.
He's
Yeah,
going to
like,
get back in the
he
groove.
has to get back to his shape.
Yeah.
Because this last season was not him, and we'll see if he's able to get back into Deshaun Watson shape. We'll see.
Yeah. All right, we're just about to wrap it up from over here. I just want to say, just by listing our top 5 QBs, enjoy your football, enjoy this time, because we're living in an era with all these young, great QBs, and it's gonna be fun to watch. Just like we had with Brady, Breeze, Manning,
Yeah,
Aaron
the era's ending.
Rodgers. You know what I mean? That's ending, and this is beginning. I mean, and it's going to be really fun to watch because these guys can all play football at a really high level, and I think they're going to be good in the NFL for a long time. Mahomes, Burrow, Allen, Hurts, Lamar, Justin Herbert, Jordan Love. It's going to be fun.
Yeah, like
See how I snuck that in there? That was good, right?
Yeah.
That's good. But, and, with this draft class too, these guys have a chance to be really good, so let's enjoy it. And with that being said, we're going to close it out. Just want to repeat it again. We're going to have Monday morning, whenever last position rankings for you guys. And then Thursday morning, we have the 1.0 Jenks and Hammer mock draft for you guys. And draft, we might do a live stream. Get some fans on
Yeah,
to
get
react
excited.
to their teams, draft picks. And yeah, we're thinking about doing it. So stay tuned. With that being said, make sure to follow us on Instagram, Twitter, and TikTok at Jenks Hammer Pod. You can listen to us on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, and YouTube at Jenks and Hammer Podcast. If you watch it on YouTube, make sure to like, comment, and subscribe. In the comments, debate with us. We want to hear it. That's it.
See you guys.
Peace.
Thank you for tuning in to the Jenks and the Hammer podcast. Remember to leave a review and follow all of our social media pages at Jenks Hammer Pod for more content. Until next time, who dat and go Pack Go!